Cage Minds, Micah Frankel. We're here at the McClain Gym. Irish Bryant McClain. Try to get that right all in one. Toe-to-toe Tuesday. We're a couple days out. Your third pro fight ahead of you. How you feeling?
I'm feeling real good, man. We had a good camp. Cutting the weight now. Just waiting to get in there and weigh in and be able to eat and get in there and get it done, you know?
How much is that focus? I just want to eat.
Every fight, man. Every fight is just, I'm starving just.
Starving to make weight. So at light heavyweight, how much weight are you cutting? Is that a big deal for you or not?
Not really. It's not really a big deal. It's mostly just that's the whole fight game right there, man. Is just making sure you're coming on weight. Just be professional about the whole thing. That's all I try to do.
How awkward is the Southwest fight scene for you? You're in the middle. Everyone out here is really small, or we got several heavyweights floating around, but light heavyweight, you're a rarity right now in this division for this state. So how awkward is it for you trying to get fights?
It's you know, being a McClain, you know, having my dad was about the same way too. He fought at cruiserweight most of his career, and he was always fighting. They'd just have him scheduled for a cruiserweight. They'd drop out and they'd bring a heavyweight in last second, or you know, he'd have to go up to heavyweight just to get fights. Having
a name like that, your father's name, is it a blessing or a little bit of a curse? Because so many guys are gonna back off when they hear that name.
Well, you know, when they hear the name, they look back at his record. You know, he's 23-8-1 with 21 knockouts. It's a lot of hard hitting power, man. I have a little bit of pressure behind me to follow in those footsteps. You know, being able to be the knockout puncher and stuff. I try to, you know, my dad always told me to hit and not get hit, and that was the main thing. So I try to, you know, box a little more. Trying to get in all the wars that he was into. But yeah, it's been a blessing, man. It's been real cool, man. Growing up around the whole fight game and stuff my whole life, so.
Growing up around it, when did you know that you wanted to jump in and follow in your father's footsteps?
It wasn't actually until later. I was about 16 or 17. I got in a few fights at school and stuff. My dad told me, he's like, we're going to take you down to the gym, you know, see how you do down here. And they put me in with a bunch of cops and firefighters. They did the Rumble in Rio here in Rio Rancho. And I handled myself pretty good against a bunch of grown guys. So I was like, well, I think I could probably do this. So just started training and got ready for the Golden Gloves of 2011. After my first amateur fight, I was hooked, man.
Some fathers that walk away from the fight scene, you know, they want better for their kids to not have to go through it. Did your dad, you have any conversation like that? Like, I really don't want you to, or it's kind of cool. What was his reaction?
His whole rationale was just make sure you're in shape. I don't want to, you know, he doesn't want to see me get hurt. Any father doesn't want to see their son get hurt. But he just always made sure I was ready. If he felt I wasn't ready, he wouldn't let me take a fight. So, and that was kind of our even keel there. I'd make sure I was ready. If I wasn't ready, he wouldn't let me fight.
So once you got into it, it felt natural. It felt right.
Oh yeah, yeah. My dad was a fighter. You know, my uncle boxed. He was 2-0 as a heavyweight, 2 knockouts. My grandpa boxed in the Navy, as far as I was told. So I guess it runs in our blood, man. Not a whole lot I can do about it.
Just kind of okay. It was gonna happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
And now your first 2 fights, they both went the distance. How good was that? Getting rounds under your belt. How weird was it though? The same opponent twice.
It was good, you know, getting those rounds in, as you know, get as much experience as you can in. I look at it that way in a career. Fighting the same guy twice was a little off-putting, but we handled it better. We adjusted better the second time around. We take it as it comes, man. It's the fight game, man. You gotta be ready for anyone.
So same venue, almost the same promotion, but this is PBC. Depending on how long the fights go, there's chances to be seen on FS1. So how cool is this experience and this opportunity?
Oh man, I was so excited when I got the call for this fight. I have a lot of family out of state in Minnesota and Arizona and stuff like that. So if they get a chance to see me on TV, that'd be a dream come true for me. Everyone watched my dad fighting on ESPN and stuff when he was younger and all that. So getting a chance to fight on national TV would be amazing for me.
Now, how do you feel that you different though as yourself, as your own fighter, from how your father was? I'm
a little more of a slick boxer than my dad was. My dad was more of the forehead to forehead banger type of guy, you know. And his seek and destroy is a lot. My dad's whole thing about the fight game.
And then what's your theory on it?
I like to hang back a little bit, you know, pick my shots. If I see an opening, then I attack. try and get the job done. Then if it doesn't happen, then adjust and get back around and find another opening and just pick your shots, man.
Now there's injuries, there's adversity, there's always stuff to work on. What have you been working on to round out your game?
Mostly just conditioning, just making sure I've got the juice to, throw the whole round if I have to. It comes down to that when I get put up against a real banger type of guy, I have the endurance just to roll the punches and just keep going,
And as a pro so far, we've seen you fighting in the kilt. So has that always been what you've worn out?
In the amateurs, they didn't really allow that too much, but it was mostly my dad's idea. My dad was like, how cool would it be to fight in a kilt? Us being, being Celtic warriors and stuff. I was like, let's give it a whirl. So in my pro debut, I did it, and I liked it a lot. And then, so for the, the next fight, we chose the green color just to stick with the Irish a little more, So
functionally, movement, how does it differ from that time you spent in trunks?
It actually feels a lot better, man. I feel like I got a wider range of motion with my legs than in the trunks. The trunks are a little restricting, but not a whole lot different than the trunks. It feels a lot cooler,
And do you feel you got the look down? You're like, yeah, I have something that's memorable.
Oh yeah, that was always one thing I wanted to be too. I want to be a memorable fighter. I wanted everyone to look at me and be able to know that, hey, that's Irish Bryant McClain right there. Fighting family, Celtic warriors. They're real fun to watch.
And as often with the boxing game, you're expecting a tough opponent across from you this coming Tuesday, but not much footage, not known a lot on him, coming from Mexico and making his pro debut, we heard. So how do you train for a blank canvas?
Well, like I've always said, I've always followed the great Rocky Marciano's rationale in that, and that's get in the best condition possible, forget all about the other guy until the bell rings. We train hard, train for whoever they put in front of us, and once that bell rings, it's either going one way or the other, man. That's it.
You guys can't tell we're doing this, I think, before a storm, possibly. Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be cool out later. Now, as you head into this fight, do you have a big emphasis on getting that first knockout, that first finish? You went 8 rounds in the first 2 fights. Do you think about that? I'd like to get a quick night in, possibly.
Oh yeah, it's always a fighter's main goal in a fight. I believe is to be able to get that first round knockout in. Get out of the ring, get checked out by the doctor, and in my case, go grab a beer. I'm always pretty thirsty after the fight, but either way, man, as long as we get that W, I'll be happy. The first knockout will be good. I'm pretty sure my dad will be proud about that. But either way, win or lose or draw, man. I love the game. I love the fight game. Just being up there and being able to do my thing in front of everyone is just a great blessing for me.
You look back at those first 2 fights with Daniel. What's something big that you were able to take away in those fights?
Being able to push through certain mental blocks and stuff, fighting the same guy twice, being my second pro fight, him being a real tough guy too, man. I was hitting him with some real hard shots in that second fight, and he did not want to go down. And I respect him. He's one of the toughest guys I've ever fought in my amateur career so far as a pro. Real tough guy, man. Dude's got a chin of granite, man.
And being a pro boxer, making your way up, trying to make a name for yourself. Tell us about time management. How are you able to manage your time? Because I know you're working, you're a family man, and you've got this whole other career going on. So how do you balance everything?
It's still a little challenging, having both the kids and stuff, and having a full-time job. I work, I do plumbing and stuff. Having the gym here in my house is a real time saver, man. It helps a lot. I don't got to drive all over the place. The closest gym I think is probably South Sandhill, where I can get some sparring and stuff like that. But if we get calls for sparring, we'll head down for sparring. We'll find sparring around here. But having the gym here is amazing. It's just I've always watched my dad train in our gyms, in our garages and stuff growing up. Just kind of following the footsteps, man. It goes what works.
What do you do next Tuesday to get the win?
Just keep my hands up and keep my butt off the canvas, man. That's what I've always tried to stick to that. Just make sure I keep my hands up and keep throwing until the bell rings. Either the referee pulls me off him or
Anybody you need to thank? Anybody you need to shout out to?
I want to thank everyone, man. I want to thank my family. I want to thank you guys for doing this interview with me, man. I appreciate that. The Holmes Boxing Promotions, Pat Holmes Sr., Pat Jr., Brandon Holmes, Tom Martinez, Aaron Martinez, all those guys on that card, man. They're all real great guys. I want to thank especially my mom, man. My mom's, always been there for me, even though she hates watching me do it. She's always supported me, always been there to push me and make sure I do my best. I just want to make sure I tell everyone to come on out and catch a great show, man. It's going to be a good way to end the year, apparently, with PBC. It's gonna be a good night, man. We'll have some fun. We'll have a good time.
Irish Bryant McClain, thank you for the time.
Yes, sir.